Hey there, it is Mrs. Omongo Ogbe again on this channel Legal Gists. So what are we talking about today? The last time we talked about four very important, should I call them virtues that would assist us to make a success in our legal profession. We talked about working hard, working smart. We talked about being compassionate. What was the fourth thing? Can you remember? Okay, we talked about being a person of integrity. Okay, so I explained a couple of things to us. Now today I want us to look at two other virtues, call them that, okay, that can also help us with the legal practice. One of them is resilience and the other is dedication. Before I started my practice, I actually worked, apart from that place where I worked, okay, I served in another chambers, and that was chambers I eventually worked for about 5 years before I resigned and started up my practice. One of the things that helped me was the fact that I stood out in that firm. The jobs usually would be assigned to different lawyers in the firm. I ensured that I did my jobs excellently well. And when I'm done, I would check the cabinet and pick up files that have not yet been assigned, and I begin to work on them. I remember I had a colleague who began to taunt me, and she began to call me names. She said I was a man pleaser. So she called me names, really, and I wasn't bothered in the least because I knew I wanted to learn. And the more files I worked on, the better I got, because I needed to work, I needed to research, and I was getting better developing myself. So dedication. I didn't need my boss's approval to be dedicated. It was just something I knew I needed to do. Without sounding religious, there's a part of the Bible that says, have you seen a man who is diligent in what he does? He will stand before kings and not before ordinary men. I was dedicated. I would be at work at the time was supposed to be. In fact, I used to come into the office even before the secretary would come in, to the point where my principal eventually discovered and then gave me a key, because I was usually there even before the secretary. I would get there, I would sit down. I was dedicated. And when I tendered my resignation, I recall my boss saying to me, please, can you get someone who is just like you, who can come and replace you? Okay, so ensure wherever you're working, let this be something that you're known for. Be dedicated, work timeously. Ensure you think you're doing it for someone, but someday you would see the benefit of your being dedicated. Okay, you cannot begin to reap benefits where you are treated someone else's business with laxity. Okay, remember that beyond your boss, there's one who is above him, God, who looks at you and who actually rewards the work of your hand. So ensure that you are dedicated to the work. Finish your work, do it, with everything that you know to do, so that at the end of the day, even when your boss is looking at it and trying to make corrections, if he even adds anything, they will be so negligible because you would have done your work. I remember as a young lawyer, I used to travel a lot to Kaduna for cases that we had there. And the only reason that my boss could trust me enough to travel to handle a case was because he saw that I was dedicated. I remember even one of the cases that I won at that time was reported in papers. And boy, was I excited. My boss was so proud of me. The pay wasn't encouraging. Lawyers, now, we don't really pay like that. But that did not stop me from being dedicated. I want to urge you, and I want to encourage you, wherever you're working, please be dedicated. Okay, the second thing I want to look at is resilience. Do not be somebody who gives up easily. When I started working, my boss would eventually correct the work that I've done. And every time he uses red biro like we're in school, and he would write a lot of things that I didn't do right and all that. He really used to get to me. So one day I said, see, I will not give up on this. I'm going to keep bettering myself, keep making myself a better better person. And one of those days, he gave me an assignment, and by the time it checked, there was little or nothing to even add to it. And from that day, I knew that, I have actually grown, and I just kept at it. And we just kept making, the best of every situation, every challenge. I didn't throw my hands in the air. The case I told you we won in Kaduna, we had very few documents. So even at the trial, we didn't have so much materials. I had to go to the head office of the bank where the case emanated. And I sat with the person who was in charge of the files, trying to get documents out. I didn't give up, and at the end of the day, we won. Resilience. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. It doesn't matter who is on the other side, whether it's an SAN, whether it's a very senior colleague. Do not back out. See, a client said to me, and I when I want to laugh, I actually say that. He said, if you cannot convince them, you confuse them any which way. But one thing you must never do is to throw your hands in the air and say, oh, I give up. Okay, so 2 things. Be dedicated and be resilient. And then you're sure that you definitely make a success of the legal profession. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much. Get your friends to subscribe to this channel. As always, it's Legal Gist. Nothing serious. We're just chatting, and we're trying to make the best out of every situation that we come in contact with. I'll see you again. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.